So last night, now that the show started, I was minding my own business, and then
Ah.
The H Bomber guy dropped a new video after like a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Oh shit, I got something to watch." Then I saw the length,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be here a while." Well,
Mm-hmm.
good thing I have nowhere else to be. So I strapped in and watched all of it, and
Mm-hmm.
the boy,
An experience.
that was a ride. I've never witnessed an assassination in a video format before. That was certainly new. I've never witnessed someone just being assassinated on a video and not instantly get demonetized. That's a new one, cause oof, that's tough. Good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Be honest, I haven't gotten a lot done this week. This week has not been great. Hasn't been great for me. I've got like things done. I've made progress.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned new things, as I'm sure you are aware about the video creating process and video formats. Turns
Mm-hmm.
out I'm never not learning about that. That bothers me immensely that I'm still learning.
I mean, there's always new stuff popping up, so it'll
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, I'm still learning. There's still like so much. Like, okay, all right, so I'm gonna out myself really badly. Are you ready? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not CD. Look, this is not something I'm proud of. I'm not proud about this. I did not know what hardware encoding was for video rendering until a few years ago.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Did not know. Did not know any. Did not know. Did not know. I was
Mm-hmm.
CPU rendering up until only a few years ago, and then I found out
Mm-hmm.
that hardware encoding was even a thing, and then I found out that the NVIDIA encoder for the
NVENC. Mm-hmm.
NVENC was a thing, and then when I found
Yeah.
that out, it changed my life. It changed everything. Everything
Mm-hmm.
changed when the Fire Nation arrived. Everything changed. Never
Mm-hmm.
did not know. And I kind of hate that I didn't know because that changed
Mm-hmm.
functionally how I create content. Like how I
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah,
knew
that
what
was one of
content.
the smarter moves Nvidia did back then when they
Yeah.
started that up.
Like I had the 2070 and then I got back into video creation like 2019, but I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's like 2020. I forget how I
Mm.
found out. I think I was looking something up and I was like, hardware encoding? That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, I've never seen that work before. So I tried it out with the
Mm-hmm.
2070 and I was like, oh, this is way
Mm-hmm.
better. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out you can only throw so many cores at a problem. That's
Yeah.
there's a law
Mm-hmm.
of diminishing returns when you start throwing cores at something incessantly, thinking that core power is going to fix it. It doesn't fix most things. You
Yeah.
can't. You
Not
can't.
there.
Yeah, you can't throw. You can throw all the cores you want at it. It's not gonna make rendering any better. It doesn't matter how many cores you throw at it. It doesn't change anything. So I learned that. That was cool. And then I had to research MP4 and then
Mm-hmm.
H.264 and H.265. That was fun. Didn't understand that one at all because, stuck in my ways. So I had to learn that. And once I learned that, I was like, oh, that's a thing I can do. Oh, I could do that
Mm-hmm.
now. Oh. AV1 I already knew about, but AV1's out of my reach, so I can't fuck with that if I wanted to. Even if I was like interested in like dabbling in AV1,
Mm-hmm.
I can't fuck with that. I don't have the proper equipment for that
Yeah.
anyways. But
That one's still comparatively new.
I took a test drive at 4K content at creating 4K video at 4K 60 FPS
Mm-hmm.
and figured out my workflow for that. was mildly surprised at how well this PC crunches through it. Turns out, maybe
there's probably still a significant difference from HD, but probably still gonna be quick enough.
I don't have any issue on the timeline. Scrubbing the timeline is super fucking smooth.
Yeah, sure.
No,
it's mainly the encoding process that's gonna be longer.
Yeah, I think the encoding process is pretty close to about the same as the actual length of the video. It's about the same. So instead of me cutting it in half at 1080p, it's now roughly 1:1, which isn't bad.
Yeah, which makes sense.
That's not bad. I can live with.
That definitely not, given that the video is 4 times the pixels essentially, because it's double.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. Turns out I learned a lot. So while I accomplished nothing in the world of gaming this week, nothing significant outside of seeing my Animal Crossing file on my Nintendo Switch profile and seeing I was already at almost 150 hours time spent in Animal Crossing. That's humbling. That made me really look at my life in a new way. Really had to take a deep, hard look at myself with that one. Looked in the mirror and went, what am I doing with my life? This is... Yeah, right! Bruh, listen. Look, like, I honestly, it's actually kind of fucked up when you think about it, right? Because, like, an average game with, like, an end, right? Like, an actual end. Like, the game ends, right? So, like, 40, 50, maybe 70, 80 hours, depending on the game. But these casual fucking video games, these fucking Skinner boxes, yeah, these games that just say, do what you want. It's like, oh, cool. I'll probably put a few. Oh, I put 150 hours into. Fuck. Yeah, put a couple. But see, like, no matter how I feel about my time spent in this game, I don't feel that bad because I have friends on my friends list whose time in Animal Crossing makes mine look like a filthy fucking casual. I look casual, like 120 hours for me, that's a lot. 140 in Persona 5, that's a considerable amount of my time. To them, in Animal Crossing, that's... 2? Yeah, 3 years, yeah. That's nothing. That's... Yeah. And we're not even getting into whether or not they restarted their island. So, if they restarted because they were tired of their original island, they just started over, and they still cranked up all those hours. Whew. But yeah, man, it's been good. It's been an interesting week, man. You know, it's been an interesting week. I'm gonna be honest with everybody as you're watching today. We're gonna cover a handful of different stories. It's gonna be interesting. There wasn't a ton this week, but one of the stories I wasn't sure we were even gonna cover because there was an update, but it wasn't the kind of update I felt comfortable having it dedicated to itself, because it is an update. Don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. It is an update, but it's just not enough. It's not an update I would want to dedicate a large amount of time to, and I think you'll understand why. So, yeah. So, CD. The bases are loaded. The crowd is silent. They're waiting for you as you walk up to the plate, CD. It's on you. The game is on you, CD. Everything weighs on your shoulders. Ah, yes. Oh, we haven't talked about that. No. Oh. Uh, the recipient wasn't home. CD sitting in his office chair, like. He's like, am I here? Bro, that. I double checked. I live here. Oh God, that's great. That driver was really he just wanted to go. He just wanted to go home. He was like, I just don't want to do this today. Fuck this guy. I'm going home. Oh no. Nice. Well, they had to fight with the delivery person to get it. I I was going to say I don't want to say impressed by Steam because I don't know if that's the right word. I will say when the Steam Deck first came out, a lot of people I watched who covered it had issues covering it. Not because the product was hard to cover, but because Steam was pushing out so many updates. So they were pushing out so many updates that it almost feels yeah, it's well, it draws on this issue of I'm going to review the product that's in my hand, right? So the product I get. But if the devs are just consistently pushing out update after update and fixing these things, the question then becomes is that fair? How do you parse that, right? Like, if you make a video and there's an issue, but literally right after you finished filming, an update comes out that fixes the issue you just spent part of your video talking about, do you amend the video? Or do you say, well, that update didn't exist?
You only just film.
Because it's an interesting thing, because there are quite a few reviewers who are like, well, I'm reviewing the product they sent me, and they almost didn't really want to acknowledge the updates, which on one hand I think is a little shitty. Like, not like, it's a little shitty. Like, okay, sentiment, like, fundamentally I understand the logic, right? Like, you shouldn't review a product based on a future, right? So, like, I shouldn't review the product based on, like, the potential future of a product. I'm reviewing the thing that's in my fucking hands. Right. It would be fixed. It would be fixed. It wouldn't exist. It would just be, it'd be a non-issue. It was a very interesting time watching the Steam Deck come out. But I also think just as interesting as the Steam Deck coming out has been everything that happened after the Steam Deck came out. The Steam Deck the Steam Deck fundamentally did something to this market. Whether people want to admit it or not, the Steam Deck came out and the market went, oh shit, people, well, see, I don't even know if that's a matter of like the rest of the market didn't know people wanted that, right? I don't know if that's really the argument to be made. Like, some people might make the argument like, uh, GPD. Yeah. Keep going. You're good. I got my headphones. It's all good. Keep going. I was a I was about to say the price has always been something with some of these products where I just kind of look at it and I'm like, oh, like it's one of those things. It's like, that's cool, but it's like, god damn, that's expensive. God, that doesn't. Mm, well, it feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Yeah, it's like. Hmm. Yeah, Valve kind of showed this product wasn't niche, but yeah, yeah, people want this. But I also think Valve has also kind of also solidified something that Gabe has said multiple times, which is if you have a good service, if your service is good, people will buy it. It's something people will want. And you know, as somebody who had Steam when the Orange Box came out, all right, all those many, like when the Orange Box launched on PC all those years ago, I know what Steam ran like back then. Yeah, it was not a good piece of software. All right? I was there. So, don't hit me with that. Steam's always been good. Bitch, I've been here since the beginning. Nah, that's not the case. All right? Half-Life Half-Life 2 50% of the time crashed at the dude with the valve in his head logo. The fat dude with the fucking thing on his head, it would crash on that splash screen 50% of the fucking time. Half the time, game would just crash. Yeah, like 50% of the time, just crash outright. So, I think it's really hard. It's really something I have to give Valve credit for is that they built a solid service. They built Steam, and then they said, okay, we have a backbone. Now we can make something that can work off of this backbone. And now we have the Steam Deck. All they had to do with the Steam Deck is just not make a garbage device. Not make. Oh yeah, I always forget about Steam. Steam OS is it feels so natural for the deck and for Steam. I don't think about it as just being its own separate thing. Yeah. So let's so how I'm assuming you've put in some decent hours on your Steam Deck on your new Steam Deck, so you've gotten pretty comfortable with it. Yeah, my man. Hell yeah. Fucking Raptor. I, w- I wanted to ask because there's something a YouTuber pointed out about so the original Steam Deck, it's like 2 to 8 hours that they list as the battery lifetime, but the new one it says 3 to 12, which is a fairly large. I mean, obviously we talked about this before. Depending on what you're playing, it's going to dictate those hours. Have you noticed any lengthen, or do you keep it mostly play? I mean, and OLED, like being able to turn being being able to turn, well, black pixels are just turned off. Like that's those pixels just aren't doing anything. They're just off. So you're inherently not lighting them. So I mean, however you want to account for that for power usage. I don't. I'm not an electrical engineer, so I'm not gonna. So, did you get the 512 or the 1 TB? Oh, uh, okay. I will probably I will probably eventually get an OLED Steam Deck, but I have something else I'm getting this Christmas for myself that's more important than a Steam Deck right now. As okay, like yeah, it's slightly more important to me. Like I love my new toys. I don't hide that, but you know, priority sometimes it's a priority list. It's on the list. It's just not the highest on my list at the moment. Uh no, it's not going. It's not. Yeah, that's something they didn't have to do any weird pre-order things this time around for it. They just kind of launched it. All right, cool. uh, Anything else? Nice. Nice. One moment as I figure out what we're going to talk about, because I'm not 100% sure what I want to start with. You know what? I don't like picking on Destiny 2, but Destiny 2 keeps putting itself. Destiny 2 keeps showing its ass. So. Yeah, like if you're gonna keep showing your ass, I'm gonna have to say something eventually. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna keep putting it out there. You know, yeah. Like, I'm not a journalist, but eventually I'm gonna have to say something. So, Destiny 2. Last time we covered this game, had a bit of a downturn on its user engagement as it dropped off, I believe, like 49% or something ridiculous. Somewhere almost 50% in its engagement numbers, which for those of you who aren't in the know, if you're dropping almost 50% in your user engagement numbers, that's not good. That's yeah, that's you're not that's not quite your heart stopped, but you're getting pretty close to pure heart stoppage. So it looks like, now I don't play Destiny 2, so I'm only going by what I've read. They launched something. They had a Destiny 2 starter pack for sale at some point, and I'm struggling to figure out what was the starter pack. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, so they Oh, so it's like, here, take these free epics, and it turns out these epics haven't been relevant in like, oh, cool. According to a story by IGN prior to the pack's removal, it had attracted satirical user tags such as capitalism, crime, and pathological horror on Steam. Oh man. Count on users being fucking savages whenever you fucking do them wrong. God damn. Per Paul Tassi, the pack in question, well, like you said, contained some cosmetic items and was actively deceptive and contained items that were mostly useless or easy to earn in Destiny 2's current meta. All right, so I almost want to ask, how much did this thing actually cost? I want to know. $15, huh? $15. All right. The low price of $15. You can get a bunch of out of date, worthless garbage. You know, selling garbage to someone has always kind of just been a joke for me. I just didn't know someone would actually do it. Yeah. That's honestly like, this is borderlining on like selling ice to someone who lives in the North Pole. Like, yeah. Yeah, it's like that. It's a level of scam that it's almost kind of comical, right? Because like somebody came up with this. Like, this doesn't just create itself. Somebody in this corporate, somebody, yeah, nobody this yeah, somebody sat down, some 15 $15. Y'all charge $15 for a bunch of out of date shit and thought nobody 15, you know, like, I give shit. That's also like not a save. Like, you're not, yeah, you're not saving yourself with that one. That's not, if Right. Yeah, we're. It's like we're bad, but we're not Diablo 4 bad. And it's like, is that really the same you think it is? Is that? Yeah. I don't think that's the hill you really want to perish on, but be my guest. I'm not here to stop you. You're an adult. Make your own decisions. So, all right. Now, this next one, the EA story, uh you posted this in the Discord, but you today came back at me about it cuz you were like, I'm not 100% sure about this story upon because you were 100% sure about covering it. Nice. Yeah, that's weird. Like, yeah, banning someone well after the fact is fucking weird. Cause at that point it comes off as like, ah, gotcha, motherfuckers. Like it comes off more like a gotcha than like you broke the rules, and you don't really want to do that to customers. Like the whole like, I gotcha, ah, I gotcha, get banned. Oh yeah, I've read that one. Cool. Yeah. That's like mildly suspect. Like that's just, that's mildly suspect. I'm probably being really nice calling it mildly suspect, but that's mildly suspect. That like I take you. Yeah. Yeah, they don't have priorities. What are you talking about? They Yeah, customers say customer support costs more money than it makes. You're not making money off of customer support. You're spending money on it. And EA can't afford to spend money on that. But yeah, so this story was weird. This was weird. I read a bit about it, but as usual, everything else distracted me, so I only looked at it surface level. And okay, so I'm gonna pull back the curtain for you, ladies and gentlemen, about how this show works. Cause sometimes I feel like it probably seems like a black box. Sometimes stories end up on our. Sometimes we will find stories that they go into our Discord chat, and then they might sit there for a bit, and then usually, would you say around Friday or Saturday, we actually have to evaluate the shit that happened that week. We start evaluating, so we go, okay, this might be worth it, this might not, and then usually by Sunday, usually like Sunday morning, we finally have to come to a consensus about what we're doing. So Sunday will be like, we'll cover this and this, everything else seems like trash. Or sometimes we will not cover something, so something will pop up during the week and we'll say, no, we're not covering that. That's not worth covering yet. And then someone shows their ass on fucking Twitter and decides, oh, I guess we have to cover this shit now. Yeah, well, shit, now I have to cover this. Now you've forced my hand. Like I said, like I've told you all before, ladies and gentlemen, we are not journalists. We don't have to follow any particular journalistic integrity notions, but we still do have some level of integrity. And sometimes we just have to follow our guts on this one. I'm still mad about that Bayonetta voice actor story though. That bitch did me dirty with that one. I'm sorry. That story legitimately to this very fucking day pisses me off because she played us. And that's the thing about it that makes me so angry is that I covered that shit and at the end I just went, well, she got us. She got exactly what she wanted. She got coverage. We played right into her fucking hands. God damn it. I hate it. That story still to this very day makes me angry. It makes me unfathomably angry. That entire thing. Like, Hideki Kamiya is a prick. Like, don't ever in your life think that I don't think that. He is a prick. And I will stand by that till the day I die. Alright? I will die on that hill. Yeah, he's a prick. I don't care. But trying to somehow conflate him being a prick, which he is, with you being a liar, well, here's the thing, lady. He's always been a prick. You only recently decided to be a liar. That's the difference. He has a track record. I'm not surprised when he does some dick move on Twitter and decides to be an asshole. But when you decide to lie to everybody and make us all think one thing for an entire week and a half, well, excuse the fuck out of me. So, yeah, sorry. Minor rage moment, but that, that... That's so weird. Like, it took arbitrate. like, all right. Is it? Is it? What's the chances it's automated? Like, it can't be. It has. What's the chance it's automated? It's it's automated, and then like the reps just look at why the system chose it, and the reps just go, "Oh well, system banned you, so you know it's probably right." Yeah, if anyone actually, if you don't just get an automated response saying, "No, we decided not to change our fucking minds," which, because putting people on anything is more expensive than it's worth. So God forbid. Yeah. Well, hello everybody. The future Rezo and future CD here from the fucking future. Yeah, we're from the future. A far-flung future of exactly 1 fucking week. All right. So if you're watching this, that means I have edited out the entirety of the segment you were about to watch, and there's a reason for that. I initially had intended to get this show posted sooner, but I didn't. I was going to have it posted on Sunday because I've been kind of slowly adjusting the show to kind of fit with the lifestyle I kind of have these days and not just pushing myself to get stuff done so quickly. It's worked out decently well, but believe me, it's the best I can do. We had an update. Literally Saturday night. And, I didn't feel it was appropriate or fair to keep the section in at the point when that update happened. I was already planning on having an addendum to that episode regardless, because something did happen shortly after we did the episode. So I was already going to do the addendum. I was cool with that. But what happened just last night forced me to go, well, shit, I can't possibly keep the segment now. It's not fair. If I keep the segment, it's fucked up if I do that. Like, it sits poorly with me.
Yeah, the segment operates under completely different terms than now.
Yeah, then now we can't functionally keep it and not. I can't do it in good conscience, basically. I want to address, before I go into the actual addendum we're going to be making, a bit of a complaint I've received, which is that we jumped on drama on this particular story. Our show mostly has never covered YouTube shit. We don't really deal with YouTube shit in general. Like, yeah, certain subjects of stories have YouTube channels. Yeah, most people have a fucking YouTube channel. At which point, yeah, kind of YouTube plays into it. But by and large, I don't typically delve into YouTube bullshit. That's not the kind of shit we cover. Like, historically, we just don't cover that shit. Yeah. So, and I would not to say that maybe I didn't feed in to bad habits with the YouTube sphere. I would like to make my case for why I don't feel that I'm personally the one that I am personally not the full problem here as far as the contributing to the YouTube drama fucking pipeline. I checked the timeline for when we covered this story, and I remembered a detail that we weren't going to cover it initially. The 2 videos dropped, and they were interesting, but they weren't really, it's not really a story. It's this he said, she said. But then I remembered, I ended up in the hospital at one point during that same week. But prior to me going to the hospital, something happened with Open Hand that forced my hand as far as covering it. The privacy complaint. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on YouTube long enough. I know what copyright silencing looks like. I've seen that shit before. It happens way too fucking often for my own taste.
Yeah.
Maybe I drew the wrong conclusion? Possibly. Like, intent, that's always going to be a problem, but I've been...
In hindsight, you could say
maybe
that, but
in hindsight, but...
at the time, it was a kind of suspect reaction.
Yeah, it was a suspect reaction.
Really was.
So I didn't feel like I was in the wrong for covering it at that point. At that point, I took that as a tacit response. Like, at that point, if your first response is to do that, like, I don't know how else you can interpret it. That just makes the most sense. That is my rebuttal to the people telling me to do better. I'm sorry. I don't think, like... You can say that this is drama mongering all you like. I didn't just cover it based on 2 videos. I waited. I wanted to see more happen. They made a response. It might not have been a response, but as far as I'm concerned, I've been on the platform long enough. I know the bullshit people do on YouTube. Experience.
And the completionist has copped to being bad at responding to the whole thing and being bad at the communication part as well. So
I'm going to... Well, I will be doing more to do better next time. I refuse to feel like I'm held responsible here for the ensuing chaos that happens with this story. I'm sorry, you're not putting that on me. I'm not shouldering that fucking burden. And fuck you for trying to do that. I'm sorry, fuck you. I'm not doing it. I'm not shouldering that fucking burden. Fuck that. I'm not responsible for that. Alright, so the update that happened that derailed the entire fucking show and forced me to have to edit it out. Saturday night, Gerard put out, or the completionist put out my response. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, was not on my bingo card for what I expected on Saturday night. That was not on the bingo card that night. It was his response. And you know what? Yeah,
after watching it, one of the better response videos on any kind of this type of stuff I've seen.
Yeah. He takes the blame for where it is reasonable for him to accept the blame. He openly admits that things weren't handled the way they probably should have been. That's on me. And I'm not a tax accountant, so I can't speak on the specifics, but
seems congruent about the whole changing the type of
everything.
It fits charity that they were and all that.
It fits the sniff test to me. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't really. At that point, if at that point I don't feel like I really have a need to cover this anymore. We got the response, and I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I don't really think there's anything else to say.
That would have to be something pretty big for this to ever come up again.
Yeah, this is not going to come up. And CD posted in our Discord from Muda. I'm sorry, I'm not covering it. I refuse. I'm done. The story's over. Yeah, the story's over. I'm done. I'm not.
Yeah, it might go on behind the scenes and on YouTube and all, but for us, it's done and dead.
Yeah, we've entertained this story as long as I feel comfortable and as long as I feel necessary to cover it. Gerard's response essentially ends the fucking loop at this point. It's over. I'm done. I see nothing.
He said he's left the Open Hand Foundation, so
yeah, at this point, I see no reason to even care.
He cut that part out, which is I'd say that's the best thing he could have done.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really, like, this is so fucked up. He doesn't really have a choice. Like, he doesn't really have a choice. Like, this was probably the best idea, the best solution for him to, like, just separate himself from the entity for any future complications that arise.
I'm not having a choice, but it would have probably occupied his time quite a bit more in the future if he would have continued being a part of it.
Well, he would have to after this he'd have to take a far more active there would be the expectation would be he'd be more active at that point.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. So in that regard, for him personally, it probably was a matter of not having a choice because it would impact his other stuff too much.
Yeah, because once at this point there'd be the expectation that anything that future that he's involved with in the open end, he'd be taking a personal role in.
True, yeah.
I don't know if he, like you said, that would just be like a ridiculous amount of time for him. And I don't know if he's real. I don't know if that. I don't think the math works out for him in that regard.
Probably.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I respect it. Like, bare minimum, I get it. It sucks. And, you know,
yeah.
I will at the very least say that I have had a bit of a moment with this story in its entirety behind the scenes, as far as asking myself whether or not I am part of the problem. I refuse to take that credit, though. I'm not. But yeah, the story's over for me. He made his response. It passes the sniff test as far as I'm concerned. I'm not engaging with this. So unless something happens that's so massive and dramatic that makes me actually consider ever talking about this shit again, as far as I'm concerned, the story's over. I don't.
Yeah.
And that is our addendum for the story, everybody. I will now cut back to the week younger CD and Rezo. The younger version. Yes, yeah, we'll see you in the past, ladies and gentlemen. We're going back. Anyways, back to the original, back to the week before, and enjoy the rest of the episode with that massive chunk of the episode cut out, because fuck that. I'm not keeping that shit in there. Have a good one, everybody. All right, fantastic. I'm done. I never have to cover this shit ever again. I don't like to wish terrible on other people. That's not really how I get down. By and large, I don't believe in that, because what comes around goes around, and I am a firm believer of that. Karma does exist to some degree, and karma will in fact bite you eventually.
Yeah.
But I'm also a gambling man, so I'm willing to flip the coin once in a while. So here we are. Yeah, it's you know, I have my coin right here. I'm willing to flip it once in a while and hope I don't turn out like most of Two-Face's victims in Dark Knight, dead. I hope you all have a fantastic week, everybody. As always, you can find us on a variety of platforms: Google, Apple, and Spotify, and on our YouTube channel, The Turn-Based Cynics. Remember, everybody, the holiday season is here. I should probably talk about that shit. I should probably talk about the future holiday stuff and everything. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. We might only have like one, maybe two more shows left this year before we have to call it this year. I'm not going to be here the 20th through the 27th. And I think you're going to be gone
from the 15th to the 17th. So next week is going to be the last recording for this year.
So next week is our last episode for the year. Not for lack of wanting, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me, I've enjoyed our extended show run, but things happen, and I'm not going to be in town that week, and I'm not missing a vacation. So
and the weekends afterwards are just Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, nothing
perfectly placed. The 24th on a Sunday and the 31st on a Sunday.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right.
Perfect
Holy
placing.
shit. Holy shit, they're perfectly placed. So this will be the last. This next week will be the last show for the year, and you know, we'll address that bridge when we get to it next week. But until then, everybody, continue playing them fucking video games. We're still eating good out here. Next year is around the corner, and I promise you, Rebirth is almost fucking here.
Yeah, next week is gonna be the Game Awards, so let's see what that brings us.
Oh my god. Oh my god. There's gonna be a new Rebirth trailer. It's gonna be. They're gonna drop.
Possibly.
There's gonna be a new Rebirth. They're gonna drop some spicy new Rebirth shit. They're gonna do it. They're gonna give me what I want. They're gonna kill Tifa. They're gonna kill Tifa and let Aerith live. I am now manifesting that out into the ether. You're all gonna. I'm now manifesting that into the ether, ladies and gentlemen.
Both. It's gonna be a real shish kebab.
He's gotta kill them both. They both die. Yes, let this happen. I'm manifesting this. This is now officially a thing. I'm ending the show on that, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic week. Tifa dies at the end of Rebirth. Have a good one, everybody.
See ya.